say its name and it will appear. No, I'm not talking about Joe Hendry. I'm talking about chain wrestling in WWE 2K25. Yesterday I made a video where I reacted to Up Down Down's first exclusive look at the gameplay of 2K25, and unfortunately I didn't see the chain wrestling in that video, which I was really looking forward to seeing and talking about. But thanks to Ferroflux, I'm actually able to see chain wrestling in WWE 2K25 with his video of LA Light versus Ethan Page. So I thought I'd go through it and kind of break down what I think about it and some of the new features as part of chain wrestling, which wasn't part of the old one. So let's have a little look and see what it's like. So chain wrestling, it comes with instructions and it seems to happen when two people grapple at the same time. There's actually multiple options of like what you can do. It seems there's wrench to inflict damage, there's switch to gain control in a new hold, and then there's attack or drive, which can just end chain wrestling. And another thing that wasn't a part of the last one, I believe, is you can interrupt your opponent's progress with filling in the circle by pressing X or performing a strike, which is a very nice feature, I believe. So the layout already looks a lot different. You've got the circle, but there's all these different options. We've got switch, we've got drive, we've got attack. And it seems to be the same as each person is in the same position. But it's interesting how on the right side there's only 2 sections for attack, and on the left there's 3. So I'm guessing there is a bit of a timed limit technically with chain wrestling. You can't just chain wrestle for 10 minutes, unfortunately, you know. I believe once you run out of all of them, you can't do them again in that sequence, or maybe just in general. I don't know how reoccurring chain wrestling will be. But there seems to be some sort of limit. So they go to switch, and then you feel the circle, just like the old game, which I think is fine. Did keep that as it is, to be honest. And now there's all these different types of options, like switch and attack, and then there's switch, wrench, and attack. So I believe it's dependent on what position you are in, where you can do certain things to like potentially get out of it if you're losing, or do more damage if you're winning. But I'm not entirely sure how the 3 or 4 bar system on each thing plays out, because it just changes each time. My own personal theory is that, you know, if you use an attack here, then it just go down to the 1 bar in like the next sequence, and then maybe once it runs out, you can't do anything else, or you have to go through a wrench or a switch. So Ethan Page is in the offense at the moment, and he's going to do wrench. I believe it just makes you think about what you're doing a bit more, and making your attacks feel a lot more targeted and done with purpose, rather than just going in any old direction in the circle. Okay, so he's got wrench again and attack, and only switch. So it definitely is depending on what like situation you're in, where you can only do things. And now there's a whip option. There's so much to this that it's so much different to last time. I really like it, I think. Oh, yeah, and you can just attack doing it, which is quite nice. And that's pretty much all that's shown for chain wrestling. So it's quite different, isn't it? It actually tells you what you're doing, which I'm not too sure it did in the last installment, or at least not as clearly. It gives you a lot of objectives, so you really know what you have to do if you're like losing. You know, you can only switch and to go in that direction. I think it's gonna be a bit of a learning curve, but I'm excited to try it out when it finally comes out. So that's a little look into chain wrestling in 2K25. Let me know what you think in the description. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you prefer it to 2K20 and under? Do you not prefer it from what you've seen? I'm very interested to hear your thoughts. Please feel free to subscribe if you want to see more 2K25 like reactions and eventually content when the game comes out. And I will see you in the next video. Adios amigos.